Okay, in this videotape, what we're going to do is cover long-range weapon fighting. Many times in SEAL team, especially in jungle environments, we carry the machete, okay, for cutting through thick brush. And many times, the only thing that's available to us is maybe a branch off a tree or a stick, especially in an escape and evasion situation where we're running for our lives. Maybe our weapons are gone and we're out of ammunition. So these skills come into play. Maybe we have to take out a sentry, or we're just fighting for our lives. Okay, so the material in this video will relate to both the sword or machete, and it will relate to a stick, okay, a stick of any length. A lot of times, for safety reasons, we're going to use the stick. A stick can be found in any environment, any urban environment as well. It could be a pipe, it could be any blunt instrument, it can be a car antenna. So I think you're going to find these skills applicable for any self-defense situation. Okay, we're going to cover the angles of attack that the stick can follow, or the sword, very similar to the dagger, okay, or the knife. But we'll start off first with the path of the stick. First, the figure eight. Okay, again, downward figure eight, which you see this point of the stick will roll over to form a complete figure eight. Okay, it's not, a lot of people would just hack like that. That's another way to do it. But this one is a flowing figure eight like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the figure eight can go to the top of the head, and to the top of the head like this, which is more straight downward like this. 1, hacking down to the top of the head. Whereas it could be more 45-degree angle to the collarbone area here. Okay, and then you have a horizontal angle, again, hitting to the elbow or rib cage. Flowing with it like that. This can also be upward, okay, slashing upward. If it was a blade, slashing the center of the body, or up to the head, or a stick, hitting to the elbow or knee range like this, or head range. Okay, this can also be diagonal, meaning striking downward and then slashing upward, down to up on the same side here. On this side as well, going from left to right, slashing upward, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Once you have these basics, you can mix them up. You can go from the down to the up, to the horizontal, diagonal here, back to down, mix it up to the upward, horizontal, down, top of the head, horizontal, down, upward. Again, practice on your own, gain fluidity with the stick, and I think you're going to find you'll be in a better position when it comes down to the real thing. Now, we have thrusting motions also, very similar to the knife. If I thrust from the forehand side, I can pull through and slash down. So this thrust may go into the neck area or to the face area, and you can pull through and then slash down on this side. Or what you can do is pull through on this side and slash down on the forehand side. So I can thrust through the backhand side, slashing down on the forehand side, or thrusting through on the forehand side to slash down on the backhand side. The thrust can go forward, meaning just into the stomach area. Sometimes it will lift up to the same target area to the stomach. Sometimes it'll quick thrust. Sometimes it'll lift up. Sometimes it will retract to this area so that I can thrust from the backhand position, or it will retract to the forehand area so that I can thrust from the forehand side. So again, quick thrust, lifting thrust, thrust to come to the outside so that I can thrust in that manner, or a thrust to come from that side so I can thrust from the forehand angle. Once again, quick thrust, lifting thrust. I can thrust, come back to the backhand side so that I can rip through with a thrust from the backhand, or I can quick thrust here so I can thrust from the forehand side and follow up like that. Now, if I bring in a partner, you can see where the strikes will hit on the person's body. The downward figure eight. Again, now with a stick or with a sword, you're going to have a lot more range than with a dagger. So use that range hitting with just the tip of the stick. Hack, hit, or hit. This could be collarbone area. So 1 and 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Or this could be elbow to elbow or ribs to ribs, or it can be down to the leg area like that. Okay? You have horizontal, which could be to the head area or temple area, could be to the collarbone area as well, or neck area. Could be to the ribs, okay? Or again, the thigh area, like that. Shin area, and back up. This is horizontal. Same with the upward now. This can hit to the head, face area, could be to the rib cage area. You can imagine the machete will slash the body open like that, or to the leg, like that. Leg area, from the leg up top. Okay. You have the lateral, or the diagonal, going from the right-hand side of the body down low and back up, working just this side of the body. Okay. When you have a stick, try to imagine when you're doing your stroking drills that you have an edge, or that you have a blade. This way it'll give you the proper body mechanics. Keeping your knuckles first when you strike. 1. Okay. 2. Going back in to the figure 8. Slashing motions right here. That will bring out your body mechanics. And you see the body mechanics are very similar to boxing. Okay. Getting that body involved. Pivoting your feet. Okay. 1. And then the diagonal from the forehand to the backhand side. High to low. High to low. If we drop the elevation, it could be like this. Or like that. Okay. The thrusting motion. Again, this thrust can quick thrust here like that. Just into out or into out here. Or it can lift up, where you're going to lift the person up. Okay, again, so you have a quick thrust here or here. The lifting thrust. After the thrust, sometimes it can come out so that I thrust on the forehand side. Again, 1 thrust on the forehand side, or 1 slash on the forehand side. Sometimes when I thrust, it'll come to the backhand side so that I can thrust on the backhand side, or take it out here so that I can slash on the backhand side. 1, 2, or 1 thrust, and then slash. Sometimes just lifting up like that, hack back down to the top of the head. 1, and then hack. Okay, so you have 1 forehand side, you have 1 backhand side, like that. Okay, you can mix it up. Okay, now with that, go ahead and take a few minutes and work on your stroking. Go ahead and take if you're serious about your training, maybe 5-10 minutes every day and just work the stroking of the stick, mixing up the different angles of attack and getting it home with the weapon. Okay, now we're going to talk about defense, defending against the different attacks that we've learned from, similar to the knife. Okay, now if the person has a sword, the same basics are going to apply in the long range. So if he swings at me, the basics of meeting the force here is the same basics. Okay, staying out of the range so that the sword cannot strike. You can hit the hand or you can hit the arm here like that. Okay, because this is what you want to do, and this is sometimes hard to appreciate what this will do. But if you hit the knuckles, okay, that's usually your quickest disarm. Okay, so this is the meeting of the force right here. And this motion is universal, so that if he has a stick, the same application will apply. So if the stick is here, the same mechanics will apply. This is meeting the force. Okay? Or with the knife, the person has a knife, this is the same thing. Using range to your advantage, hitting the hand, and meeting the force. Okay, but we'll go ahead and train with the stick, keeping in mind that all these techniques are universal, okay, regardless of weapon. There are some inherent differences once we get into disarming. Okay, certain things will work for the stick and not for the sword, but we'll get into that as we progress. So the first one again now, no matter if we start with the downward figure 8, we could do meeting the force here like that, 1, and then 2 here. We'll just do stationary training right now. Again, 1, 2. This is smashing on the hand like that. And if you have a boxing glove, you can put the glove on and actually train for the hit on the hand. Okay, but for right now, 1, we just hit the arm like that. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This is meeting the force, staying outside of the range, smashing the hand or smashing the arm as the strike comes by. Okay, when you meet the force, on this one here, I can meet the force matching the downward motion to his downward motion, or I can go horizontal, or I can go upward. As long as the forces collide, we refer to this as meet the force, okay, or meet the force, here like that, or meet the force, okay. All right, now that we took the downward figure 8, we'll take the horizontal figure 8 to the body here, and you're going to notice horizontal figure 8 that I hit above this stick here, because we don't want to hit each other's hand. He's trying to hit my body, I hit the arm, pulling across, I hit the arm, I hit the arm. This is horizontally when the blow is more to the midsection, okay? Hitting and meeting the force like that. Hit. Okay, now on the upward figure 8, if he slashes upward to the leg maybe, moving out here, okay, meeting the force, moving out here, moving out here. I can match it upward for upward, or I can go horizontally. When he comes upward, I can go horizontally, horizontally, or downward, downward. You can go right away to the head, or you can just move out, match upward for upward, upward for upward. You notice how I'm moving out, keeping that distance. If he comes in or if he advances, I move back. Okay, I keep that long range distance. Okay. Now from here, if he thrusts to the midsection, you're going to find that, again, over top. Again, over top. Again, over top. If he thrusts here on the forehand side, meeting the hand again. Meeting the hand again. Meeting the hand again. If he thrusts on the backhand side, meeting the hand, meeting the hand, meeting the hand. Okay, now let's talk about follow-ups. Okay, there's one other way that you can effectively defend against your strikes. Okay, if we work from, sometimes we call the closed side. Okay, we can just simply crash into the hand or to the weapon or to the arm with what we call a backhand strike. Some strikes with a stick and blade will hit and pull through, and some will hit and retract. Hit and retract. So with that concept, let's go ahead and apply it to the defending against these angles of attack. So no matter what he strikes with, I will hit and retract, smashing the hand each time. Okay, no matter what comes, either forehand or backhand side. Okay, now with that, we'll go into our follow-ups. After you meet the force, okay, angle 1, I meet the force, you could follow it up with a downward figure 8. Meet the force, downward figure 8. Meeting the force, downward figure 8. And you notice if I have the machete, this is going to be the same action here. I cut the arm, and I slash with a downward figure 8 motion. Slash with downward figure 8 motion. Now we can automatically go into horizontal figure 8 from here. Horizontal figure 8, horizontal figure 8, horizontal figure 8. And then from there we can go into upward. I meet it, upward. Meet it, I'm on this side now, upward from here. Meet it, upward. Meet it, upward. Okay, now next one. If I meet the force like this, 1, I can thrust through like that and maybe slash on this side or come through. So we'll take this one, meeting the force, slash, come through with 1, 2, okay, on both sides. Again, meet the force, thrust, and then 1, 2. Again, that can be applied to any one of the strikes. Okay, the next one, when I meet 1, like this. Right from here, you can backhand and then go into the downward 8 series. Again, backhand, downward 8. Backhand, downward 8. Backhand, downward 8. Or backhand into horizontal 8. Backhand into horizontal 8. Backhand into horizontal 8. Or backhand, upward, backhand, upward, backhand, hacking into the arm if it's a blade, or smashing the knuckles if it's a stick. Okay, and that is the upward series here. If I do the backhand, I can do the diagonal figure eight. Again, hit, diagonal, hit, diagonal, hit, diagonal on this side, hit, diagonal on this side. With the diagonal, I can also meet the force. If I meet the force, I can do the diagonal. Meet the force, diagonal. Meet the force, diagonal. Meet the force, diagonal. Okay, these are the basic long-range basics that should be cultivated, and remember to incorporate the footwork, okay, in the range, because if he comes in, you have to move out. Okay, these techniques are applying only to the long range. Once we close into what we call middle range, this hand is going to come into play. Okay, so when you train, as he advances, you retreat. Okay, this could be on all the basic exercises, or you can backhand each one as it comes, moving back. Okay, and then it's up to you whether you meet the force or whether you backhand to do a defense, counter with usually 3 to 4 hard strikes. Get used to doing that one. So if you hit 1 and then 1, 2, 3, okay? Hit 1, 2, 3. Hit 1, 2, sometimes 2. Hit sometimes 4. Okay, so mix it up, but make sure that the hit is on the hand. Okay, that's what we refer to as the fanging the snake. It makes it hit hard. Okay, on the next one, when he strikes, I may be on the backhand side of the strike, so we refer to this as follow the force. Maybe again from the number 1. If maybe he hits and retracts, and then my stick is on this side, I pass what we call follow the force. So no matter what the strike, follow the force. 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 Okay, and you can see how this can relate to anything. If he does the horizontal figure 8, right to the body, reach in. Okay, following the force off the downward figure 8, you follow it behind the strike. Behind the strike. In long range, he can't hit you, but you can hit the arm. Okay, if we went to the horizontal figure 8, the same thing will apply. Follow the force, follow the force, follow the force, follow the force, follow the force. If he does upward figure 8, same thing. Follow the force, follow the force, follow the force, follow the force. Okay? The diagonal, same thing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Or diagonal coming from this side, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is follow the force. The first one we did was meet the force. Second one, follow the force. Third basic, backhand, hit and retract. And then the follow-ups are endless after that. Okay, you already know that if we meet the force, any follow-up you'd like to do. You follow the force, any follow-up you'd like to do. Okay, backhand, any follow-up you'd like to do. Okay, so work on this with your partner. Get used to stroking the stick in long range, and we'll work up from there. Okay, now we're going to move in closer to where his stick can hit my head, and I can also hit his head. So we're in this range here rather than this range where he cannot hit my head and I can hit his hand. So that means we're going to have to put in our checking hand or our guard hand here. So the first basic that I want you to do is what we call a pass. Okay, this is a pass motion. Okay, again, 1. Now from the pass, I can hit. From the pass, I can thrust. From the pass, I can hit with the butt of the stick here. So again, 1, you can hit and retract, or thrust, or hit with the butt of the stick. Very common also is from this position, when you hit here, the cross will be put in as well, or the empty hand as well. But for the basics, we're going to learn the flow drill. So from number 1, what we'll refer to as number 1, we'll just turn our body to face and block. This will more block the weapon, and this will impede the progress so that it will deflect not into my body. You don't want this arm straight because it'll let the weapon go into your body, but bent so that this is shielding here, and this is preventing the weapon from going up into my body. And then the angle 3, we will pass it by, and you'll notice I hit the hand here, or I hit the arm, or hit the head. And then the number 4, I will block and open. Okay, so again, this is the open position. We start from the open position to the closed position. From the closed position to the open position. From the open position to the closed position. From the closed position to the open position. Okay, and the feed we're doing right now is we're referring to this as number 1. We're referring to this as number 2. We're referring to this as number 3. We're referring to this as number 4. We're referring to this as 5. We're referring to this as 6, 7, 8. Okay? Just for, there's many, many numbering systems in the Filipino martial arts. This is just one basic one, and then you can come up with your own. Okay? So again, learning to pass it, learning to pass it, learning to pass it, and learning to pass it here again. 1 through 4, I step to the side. You notice how I step to the side? Because just like in the knife fighting tape, we do not want to be here. We want to try to zone out to put ourselves in a better position. Now from here, I don't want to be facing this way. I turn my body so that I face this blocks and this opens. I hollow my body out by dropping back the right leg here, or what we call the lateral triangle in the Filipino martial arts, passing by, and then this will block, again, a closed position to an open position. One more time. Open to close, closed to open, open to close, close to open. Okay, on the thrust, open to closed. I can hit the arm or hit the face. So after the 5, 6, I handle that just like the number 2. I handle the number 7 just like the number 5 or 3. And then on the number 8, I can, or you can refer to that as a reverse scissors, okay, or gunting motion as they refer to it in the Filipino martial arts. Okay. Now, with putting in the follow-ups. Number 1, again, 1, this could be hit. 2, hit and retract. 3, hit and retract. 4, hit and retract. 5, hit and retract. 6, hit and retract. 7, hit and retract. 8, hit and retract. Okay, so that's the follow-up using the hit and retract. We can use a follow-up of 1, pass it, 1, 2. Pass it, 1, 2. Pass it, 1, 2. Pass, 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 1, 2. Now that's using the downward figure 8. Again, we can use any of the figure 8 patterns. For example, just taking it from 1 to 4. Number 1, I can use horizontal figure 8. 2, horizontal figure 8. 3, horizontal figure 8. 4, horizontal figure 8. Using the diagonal figure 8 patterns. Number 1, 1, 2. 1, 2, or 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay? Now, we can also use the upward figure 8 pattern. So from here, slash 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And with the 5, 1, 2, it could progress all the way up to the 8. Okay? Or any numbering system you'd like to use. Now, from here, we can combine the backhand strike with the figure 8 pattern. It could be any pattern, just like we did in long range. So we strike first ahead, follow up with a downward 8. Strike first ahead, follow up with downward figure 8. So this is making the shot so that we can continue the follow-up. One more time from the beginning. Passing, hit, 1, 2. Passing, hit, 1, 2. Passing, hit, 1, 2. Passing, hit first, 1, 2. Okay. That's what we refer to as a basic pass and hit drill. Okay, and that was the first 3 progressions, and you can free flow it, okay? Meaning the person can swing, number 1, and you can hit as many times as you'd like, and then go from here. Okay? Hit as many times as you'd like. Hit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can progress along that line, striking with numerous strikes from different angles and different patterns, both downward, upward, horizontal, and diagonal. You can add the thrusting motions, okay? Meaning number 1, I can thrust first, slash, slash. Thrust first, slash, slash. From this position, thrust, 1, 2. From this position, hit, thrust. Add all your slashing motions, or your thrusting to your slashing motions. Once again, 1, you'll see how this will sneak in first. Hit, this can thrust. Sometimes the thrust pulls through, and sometimes it'll stop. From here, maybe I stopped so that I pull through in this direction. Here, maybe I come across and hit this way. Okay, because with the blade, machete, the thrust is a very good weapon. Okay, let's go ahead and work on these techniques. Okay, in actual combat situations, say we're in the jungle or in the forest or whatever the terrain in, or you're in an alleyway or any environment, you're going to have to train on the move. Nobody's going to sit there and just feed you like this. The stationary training is good to develop the basics, and then you need to put it on the move. Have your partner advance and try to hit you. This way, you're going to have to use your footwork and discover where you need to be to evade the hit and put together an effective counter yourself. So we'll go back to the long-range drill that we just did, where the person's striking you and you're just hitting him in long range. The first basic, again, to either hit on the very first beat with the meeting of the force, with the follow of the force, or with the backhand strike. And then follow up maybe 3 to 4 strikes after that, and the person will continue to feed you while he advances. Okay, the training will look something like this. You may feed me here. You do any follow-up you'd like to do. Zoning away here. He's moving in. I have to move back like that. Follow the force on this one. Hit. Move away from the thrust. Meet the force on that one here. Come across here like that. 1, hit. Meet the force and move. Meet the force. Follow the force on that one. Meet the force on this one here. Maybe I follow the force on that one. So you see how this, if we had a bigger area, we could do it even faster. So when you're at home and you train this one, go out in a field somewhere and have your partner move you around, okay? When you feed your partner, feed him slowly to let him get used to striking up or following up with 3 or 4 different strikes, and then feed him the second strike and then the third strike. So it's a good idea to feed kind of in slow motion or feed smoothly and let him get used to defending that one and following it up. Okay, on the next drill we did a passing drill to where we were in a closer range, which involved the rear hand or the checking hand, and we had to defend here by either hitting here, by either hitting with a figure 8 pattern, by thrusting through like that. Okay. Now, what you will find in a close quarter scenario is that when I pass, you're going to want to get to a better position. So I move to the rear of the body. Maybe I take here. So I move away from the weapon. I move away from the weapon like that. You see I move away from the weapon. Move away from the weapon. Move away from the weapon. Okay? So when you're training, it could look something like this. Come on over on this side. Okay, so one. Free flow, like that. Okay, and you can free flow train like that for 5 or 10 minutes and really get an aerobic workout, and then switch partners and let the other person try. But for realism, definitely put your training on the move, advance and retreat at each other, and work on your circular footwork. Okay. We're going to keep on working in close quarter range. Now, there's some blocks and some counters that we're going to go over. Okay, there's a vast amount of these things, but we're going to go over 4 basics that should help you out quite a bit with your weaponry training. And these are the ones that we usually rely upon the most in SEAL team. Okay, the number one, if he strikes here to my head, okay, this is what we call the inside block here, or inside deflection. So the first one, this is smashing the hand if I can get it, okay, or deflecting the stick if nothing else. And then my checking hand blocks and reinforces this technique, and my rear hand is here ready to hit the leg or hit the head from here. So again, this is a block and counter here. If you look at it from the forehand side, if I have the sword and he strikes here, I hopefully get a piece of everything here like that, and then follow up, okay? So again, from this side, I crash into it and check the hand. Again, crash into it, check the hand. You notice where I'm stepping out this way to evade the force a little bit. 1, okay? And this could be any follow-up. Again, 1, any follow-up, okay? Now, the next basic that we're going to do is the same motion, but sometimes the force of the blow is so heavy and he's pulling through, okay? So we are going to capture behind the hand like that. Again, 1 behind the hand. And I can get an additional cut here. If my hand is here, I can smash the hand as I go through for the follow-up. So again, 1, 2. Again, it's the same motion as the first one, but my hand, instead of going here to stop it and controlling the center line, I give way the center line here. Hit. Thrust. One more time. Hit behind the hand. Okay, you'll feel it. It's a heavy blow, so you capture it behind the hand here like this. And this could be your follow-up. Okay, one more time. 1. Hit like that. Again. 1. So what we're doing is my partner is feeding me, so this is just one person learning the technique. And you see how this is different than the first one here, where I occupy the center line, right? This is occupying the center line, and this one is giving way to the center line. Once again, giving way to the center line. Okay, the next basic is what we call roof block, and it's a ascending block from the low position. So if he comes in, the first thing is that I form the roof, which is my initial block here. Okay, and you could think of it as a roof because it's like the roof on a house, and he may be low, I may be low, and this may be the apex. Okay, so it looks kind of like a roof. All right, so in this position, 1, this is my initial shield, and my hand is here. Okay, don't leave your hand out here because a lot of times it'll get cut or smashed. So your hand comes up the center, and then from here you can open and do any of your follow-ups. Downward figure 8, diagonal, hitting and retracting, pulling through, hit and retract, pull through. Okay? Once again, roof block, open, and hit. Roof block. Sometimes from here we pass it to get it out of the way, smash the arm, and hit like that. Okay? Okay, once again, block and cover. Again, block and cover. You can pass it by to hit here like that. Pull through. Okay? That is what we call the roof block. Now you can train like that with your partner. Okay? I mean, just block and follow up. Get good at it. Block and follow up. Block and follow up. You can gain repetition like that, or you can go 1 for 1. So we'll take those same 4 blocks and do them 1 for 1. So the first one, nice and easy with your partner, was the inside deflection. So 1, you can hit the leg here like that and then let your partner go. Okay? So you're training with each other right now. Okay, this can be the leg hit. This can be the body hit. This can be the face hit like that, on the upward like that. Or you can go down through your arm to the face like that. Bow into the face area like that. So you can mix it up like that. And you train with each other, okay? And you get your repetition through here. Okay? All right, now, the next one, we do the inside deflection where it's a more powerful blow, and we capture the rear of the hand here like that. And we scoop it around. Not only is this tactically correct, but it will set him up to receive your strike here. Okay, so 1, pass around, I smash it again, he captures from behind, smashes it again, sets me up for the following blow. And you can train it like that. You have to be aware on this one that you don't, after the strike here, you don't bring it into your leg. Okay? Many times you can move that leg out. Or just be aware of it. You redirect it away from your leg. Direct it away from your leg. Okay? Or move the leg. Okay. So this is behind the hand. Okay. Now, the next one was the roof block. Okay. So from here, 1. And from here, you see, I'm going to pass it by, moving the lead leg so that I don't slash myself with his sword or his stick. Right? 1. Move it by, I can smash, and then I smash again, and then he goes. 1. Passing by and slashing my arm, and then 2 strikes. 1, and then I go here. 1. Pass the arm, smash it here, and he goes. 1. He passes my arm and goes again. 1. Pass the arm, go again. 1. Pass the arm, hit again. Under here, arm comes up the center, hit the arm, you can strike again, give it to your partner. Again, flow training. Okay. All right, so those are the basics. We have the inside deflection. You have the inside deflection where you pass. You have the roof block, and we'll take one more, the pass and slash, or what we call gunting motion. So from here, I pass it now, see, and then I hit him here. And then you do it. You pass it, and then he slashes by. Pass it, slash by. Pass it, slash it by. So we train like this, 1 for 1. We both get repetition, and you both get work at feeding and defending. Okay? Okay. That's how we can train these defenses both singularly, where my feeder just feeds me and I get all the practice. We can go 1 for 1, or we can put it into a flow drill, which is the next step. Okay, with the flow drill, similar to the knife tape, when we went, we will take all those options off the forehand strike. Okay, so this is where we'll put all the options in. I will pass the blow each time so that on the number or backhand strike here, I will handle that like we handled it in the pass and hit drill. Okay, so that will be the common denominator here. 1, I will pass it here like that. So no matter what I do on this side, you can just pass it like that on this side, okay? All right, so the first thing we'll take is the inside deflection. So if I hit like that, I want you to pass this. You see, because what happens for real, when I hit like that, and this is where I want to be, on the backhand side, away from the weapon. Okay, so we'll practice that one in this drill. Inside deflection, pass, and then he can feed me this one, and we can work on that. Okay, again, one, and you can work on this one. Again, yeah. This can already be strikes here also, but we'll just take the basics. Okay, back to inside deflection, pass, around like that. Inside deflection, pass, around the outside. Hit, pass. Okay, and that'll be the first one. Okay, the next one, we're going to take that slashing motion here that we did in the pass and thrust drill. So one, this can already be a hit, and then this one, we handle it with the common denominator, which we're using for this drill, which is another form of roof block. Again, hit, and this is the follow-up like that. Hit, follow up. Hit, hit. This could be as many times as I'd want to do it. Okay, this can be all your techniques. Thrust. Okay. Now, next one is the roof block. So from the roof block, I go in close, and I bring it out. I pass it by underneath, and then I come in for this one. Again, roof block, pass by. Now, when you get better, you can put your different strikes in, and then put the different strikes in here. Roof, or you can just one time, and then come back like that. Okay? You can just roof and pass, just for training. Roof, pass, just to get the repetition. And then it flows. Okay? Okay. So we have three ways to work on those defenses. Number one, stationary training. Remember, just working against one counter. Or we can go one for one, where maybe we go roof block for roof block. Okay? Roof block for roof block. Roof block for roof block, or any of the deflections or blocks. And then you have your flow drill, where you can work all of your defenses, and he feeds you like that. Okay? And each one of those drills are important because it builds different attributes. One builds the ability to stroke your stick fast. One builds your ability to flow. Okay, so they're all important. Okay, that's going to conclude our tape. That is the basics of our weaponry training that involves both the machete or sword and the stick. Again, these are vital assets to our hand-to-hand combat program. I hope you've enjoyed the tape, and I hope it helps you in your self-defense training.